When Nike killed off the Vapor 11 and brought us into a modern era of Vapor 12, they did so by killing off Teijin Synthetic. No longer were Vapor's synthetic boots, they'd moved forwards and they'd been made into knit options. It's where the industry was trending and Nike went with it, especially off the back of their hugely successful limited edition Flyknit Ultra range. And everyone went nuts. People lost their minds about this because in their head, the ultimate Vapor is a Teijin Synthetic Vapor. A Vapor 8, 9, especially a 10. 10's got a lot of love. But hidden in there, hidden amongst this outrage about the fact that Nike had stopped Teijin Synthetic, they hid a little gem, a lower priced, high quality, Teijin Synthetic feeling gem. What's up guys, I'm James and welcome to Boot Wizard Boot Reviews. Today I'm going to be telling you about a synthetic Nike boot that you've absolutely been overlooking. You can probably still pick up and you can pick up at a really good price without having to pay crazy prices to go and pick up a Vapor 10. What am I talking about? Well, I'm talking about this. This is the Vapor 12 Pro. Now the Superfly 6 Pro was one of my very first reviews for this channel, and I claimed that it was basically the best budget boot on the market, and also that in some respects it was potentially better than the Vapor 12 Elite. Now I think looking back in time a little bit, the Vapor 12 Elite hasn't aged well. It's not one that I particularly enjoy. I said nice things about it at the time, and I do still think it's a good, well-performing football boot, but when you hold it up against, well, what came after it, this looks like such a minor update, but it's so much more than that, and the 12 just doesn't look like a great option anymore. It's not something I would personally be reaching for. However, the 12 Pro, as you can see by its lovely, no longer white, slightly grey colouring, this is a boot that I would still wear. Like, I still have this, I don't have my Elites anymore, and I would absolutely still go out and rock this on the pitch. It's a synthetic upper, which as you can see with a bit of wear actually turns out to be very, very soft, and certainly has some elements that remind me of things like a Vapor 10. Now, even through the collar, even through the tongue area here, you can see that it has that old Vapor construction. It's one piece all the way up to about here, and then it splits off into this standard two piece. There was no Flyknit here, no big technology. It was just a really well put together synthetic football boot. Something to remember, and something that even boot heads get wrong, is that this is not Teijin Synthetic. Now, yes, it feels like it even looks like it, and if you put me in a blind taste test, yeah, I'm just gonna have a snack of Teijin Synthetic. If you put me in a blind test, put one boot on each foot, I probably wouldn't be able to tell you the difference between Teijin and not, and that's because Teijin is not a type of synthetic necessarily. We've seen Teijin Synthetic change and evolve over time. What Teijin Synthetic is a brand. Teijin is a company that makes synthetic that Nike licensed, and Nike no longer licenses that product. They have their own proprietary synthetic, which is this, and I'll be damned, it's super, super close. And as I say, I don't think that you'd tell the difference. Even down to the details. So this still had the Nike grip insole with all of the grip elements in the bottom to stop the insole moving around. The liner through the inside of this boot is not that cheap, what I always describe as kind of tent material that runs through it. It's a much better quality insole, and if it's something that you particularly care about, it also has ACC. This is a really good football boot, and I genuinely believe, and I'm pretty confident I said this at the time of my initial review, that had Nike released this boot as their top end option, nobody would have known any different or complained about it. Even the sole plate is almost identical. There are some changes here and there, particularly with the construction, because it doesn't have that 360 Flyknit construction which wraps around. You can actually see where the split sole comes in here. So this is the inner board running through and the synthetic running onto the outside. Apologies, I've been out in these recently. They're a little muddy, but anyway, but they still have a nice amount of flex, a nice amount of spring back in the forefoot. They're still solid and rigid through the midfoot and the heel, making for a responsive, locked in sensation across the boot. Nike did an excellent job here, and at the time when these were like 130 euros, I would say they were a fantastic pickup. I got these from a Nike outlet a few months later, a few months after this colorway had dropped. I paid about 50 euros for them. They are super, super cheap. And if you can find yourself a pair, there might even be some floating around. Places like Pro Direct Soccer, they tend to have a lot of older stock. I can't guarantee this, by the way. It's just, haven't even looked, just a thought process. This is well worth considering if you are considering buying a pair. Now these, in terms of width, they're certainly wider than what you're likely to get from the current Vapor line, either Pro or Elite. These are wider, they're more forgiving. The Vapor 12 Elite was also wider than the current generation. So I would suggest that if you've got a wider foot, this is also a good option, but you still get a nice close fit and a really nice barefoot, close to the ball sensation, exactly what you expect from a Vapor. It still feels aggressive on the ball and with the sole plate. And then in terms of the length on these, I'm going to compare them directly to the Vapor 13 Elite. So I know it's a boot that maybe a lot of people have tried, or they know. I have these half a size up from these, and these probably run even closer to my foot size. So I'd strongly recommend, when you compare them up to whatever you get in these Vapors, up half a size is your way to go to get an ideal fit. So with the benefit of hindsight, looking back at that Vapor 12 Elite, and with the benefit of the Vapor 13 Elite being out for quite some time and getting some serious playtime from me, where does this rank? Is this better than the current knit Vapor? Is synthetic the way forward? Well, no, not in any way. This is a superior boot to this one in almost every single way, depending on what you're looking for, but I would pick this each and every day of the week. I think this is one of the best boots around. It's one of the best boots in performance terms that I've ever put on my feet. This can't compete. However, if you give me a Vapor 12 Elite and a Vapor 12 Pro on a Saturday morning and ask me to go out and play, who am I kidding? Saturday. Definitely Sunday League. Sunday morning, and ask me to go out and play, ask me to pick the Pro or the Elite, I think I'd pick the Pro. I would be rocking the Vapor 12 Pro over the Elite because I think it's a better boot that feels better on my feet and I enjoy more. So if you want to try and source yourself a pro level bargain, pros don't tend to hold their value very well, this might be worth having a look around for, but I definitely wouldn't be buying it over this. So let me know what you think down in the comments. Did Nike perform blasphemy? Have they ruined the world by changing the Vapor from synthetic to knit? Or do we just need to get with the times? And would you go out and rock a Vapor 12 Pro? Remember to like the video if you do enjoy this kind of thing, means I know that you want to see more, and of course get subscribed to the channel when I do make more. That's all from me here today. I hope you've enjoyed it. Have a good one, and I'll see you soon. Yes! Winner!